clubs, late night shows, boogie down at the bar, fiddle tunes and homemade booze, but it always goes too far. Shooting pool, crack a jack, take off now and don't look back. But
as you can see, this one's a full load. We unloaded 20 bikes, loaded back on 26 bikes, 25 bikes and a horse carriage. Plus my bike's in there. 26 bikes and a horse carriage. This trip we're going west. We got Minnesota, North Dakota, South Dakota, Nebraska, and Iowa. And then back here. So if you got a bike, you live that direction, and you subscribe to my channel, it can be coming your way. See you soon.
don't you wanna play? Baby, come on. Tell me where you wanna go. But baby, I don't work down there anymore. No, I don't. Oh, Raymond.
2008 Road King, right?
Road King, yes sir.
Road King Custom.
You do? I like Indians. Yeah.
So it's their 5-speed.
2019 Indian Scout.
Yeah. Sorry. Right.
But yeah, it was newer.
Same size.
Works
and
out
everything.
bigger engine.
It is bigger.
Stretch out a little bit.
Good.
I have to buy one now.
2018 Softail Slim. Delivering it out here to Twin Cities Harley Davidson. Twin Cities. 2017 Indian Chieftain. Bringing it here to Simply Ride. (2020) Lowrider. Twin Cities Harley Davidson, Blaine, Minnesota.
It's all right. You guys do your video.
2017 Victory Octane. She did the work one. This is just my YouTube one. Just that we deliver bikes here, and you know, we have non-fair weather riders that actually ride. If you don't mind, I'm gonna get you on this thing driving away.
Thank you. Text me later the YouTube link or something.
All right.
Because you guys have my number.
Yeah.
And then that'll be awesome. I'm gonna let it warm up for a second here.
Here, go ahead and hold this. I'm going to close up while he's letting it warm up. 2019 Harley Davidson CVO roadside. It is CVO, yeah, it's CVO.
Alright.
You got the 117 in, it's gotta be CVO.
Yeah.
All right, we're back here at Minnesota Motorcars in Litchfield, Minnesota with the owner, Pat Catterin.
Hi there.
And we're gonna get a little, we've picked up here quite a few times. We've showed his bikes before, but we're gonna get a little of his story, a little bit of his business, a little bit of what he does from him.
I will do a commercial right away for Hall Bikes. They are the best guys, especially Larry and Vicky. And Ruth in the office, Ruth Becker. If you need to ship a motorcycle, use Hall Bikes. They've shipped probably at least 50 for me and never a scratch. So anyway,
We appreciate that.
That said, we're just a little used car business that's kind of morphed into a vintage motocross, restoration, buy, sell, a little bit of everything. It kind of all started with when I was a kid growing up in Southern California. everybody in the San Fernando Valley, all the kids had dirt bikes, mini bikes, trail bikes, and we all kind of grew up into the motocross scene. And so I'm late 60s, early 70s. I'm 70 years old, so I'm an old guy. And these bikes are all from my generation. And there's, as it turns out, there's quite a collector market.
Did you ever, were you a motocrosser back in the day? You
Yeah,
were?
I raced at a place called Indian Dunes Motorcycle Park, just north of Los Angeles. And,
Okay.
not far from where I grew up. And it was great. I started racing on a 360 Yamaha Enduro, similar to this, and then got into the Husqvarnas. And that was, those were my favorite, and that's why we have so many of them. In fact, Larry and Vicky just delivered this one. They picked up a beautiful Voltaco 360 Persang that's headed to a collector in Florida, and delivered this one, which was picked up in what town was it in Michigan?
It was outside of Detroit. I don't remember.
Kip Sheward Motorsports.
Yeah.
And this is kind of interesting. This is typical of what I buy. So this is a 1970 Husqvarna 400, and if you get a picture of this, it's for a 1970, it's 53 years old, so it's in pretty darn good shape for a 53-year-old motorcycle, but nowhere near collector condition. So,
And not original, which it looks good, but
it's a good basic motorcycle for me to restore, bare frame. And I'll show you how that works too. I've got one that I'm just.
so you take it completely down, you strip it completely and clean them up.
In fact,
and I can contest. I mean, you look at some of the bikes.
So this is that's also a 1970. That's a finished product. And if you look at, you compare the polish on the wheels, the finish on the gas tank. This one is going to need a new gas tank. It's supposed to have a for real chrome panel here.
Oh, you got this one right here. They're both the same here
Yep,
too.
that's a Husky 400. That's a 1970. That's what they look like when I get done.
So this one come in not bad looking condition, really. But when Pat's done with it, they look like this.
Yeah, and that would be considered better than showroom. The wheels are not polished to that level when they came from the factory, but we like to get all the aluminum parts highly polished, the sprockets. We put a lot of that, that was stripped down to the bare frame, sandblasted, powder coated. All of the aluminum parts are highly polished, the fenders, the wheels, and the tank on this one was repainted, re-chromed, repainted, rebadged. So yeah, that's before and after.
And again, looking at it, there's not a whole lot of difference other than the actual motor size between the 250 and the 400, is it?
Right. On the 400, real Husqvarna collectors will tell you that if you can stick your fingers in between the head and the cylinder, it's a 400. And the 400, the 400 Husky, particularly the 1970, is as far as I'm concerned, it's the holy grail of vintage motocross bikes. That's the motorcycle that Steve McQueen and Malcolm Smith were riding in the movie On Any Sunday. So that kind of brought Husqvarna to the forefront. This was Steve McQueen's dirt bike of choice.
Okay.
And I'll show you if we go over here. And you can see, we're not all Husqvarna. These are, what have I got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 Huskies. So yes, I like Huskies. This, however, these are CZs. So and the Huskies were made in Sweden. The CZs were made in Czechoslovakia. That's a 400 and a 250. That's a Falta replica. That's a 1975 400. Falta was a very successful motocross racer on the European Grand Prix circuit. So, and the factory came out with replica bikes. Is highly collectible there. This is not quite as collectible, but it's a great motorcycle. It's a Yamaha 360 RT1 Enduro, and a lot of guys just like me owned these as their first for real motorcycle back in the early 70s. This is kind of a unique one. This is a first year Suzuki TM400 Cyclone, and amazing motorcycle. The power plant on this, it's so powerful. tons of high-end torque, high-end horsepower, real pipey, so a narrow power band, and real scary to ride. They called this, when they first came out, they called it, after about 6 months of a lot of broken bones, they called it the Widowmaker. And that nickname has kind of stuck with it. This was a 71, so it was the worst handling of all of the of the Suzuki TM400s. By 1974, they had changed the frame geometry and the suspension systems, and they were super bikes. Roger DeCoster, Joel Robert came from the European Grand Prix circuit, and they worked with the Suzuki factory to improve the bike. And then Suzuki became a major force, just like Yamaha. The Japanese bikes kind of took over from the European bikes, you know, in the mid 70s to the late 70s. These are kind of oddballs for our shop, but I love bull tacos. Bull tacos are made in Spain. And that's what Larry and Vicky just loaded on the truck to take.
I say oddball, but I think I've hauled like
You've hauled
3
a
or
bunch of
4 of
those
them
for me.
out of here
Yep.
for you, so they're not too unlikely for you.
So the one that you loaded was indeed a motocross bike, just like all of these. These are trials bikes. So these were slow speed obstacle trials bikes. This is a 69, I believe, and that is a 75, if I'm not mistaken. So they, but bull tacos were super successful in the trials competitions. And then this is, I have to show you this. I'm an old guy, so I'm 70 years old. So the hips aren't as good as they used to be. The knees aren't as good as they used to be. And these big bore singles will really kick back when you go to kick them over to start them. So one of my collector customers from Australia told me about this bike starter gizmo. And it's really cool. You back the bike, you put the rear tire.
It's like push
on
starting
these
it
two
without
wheels,
going anywhere.
And so you're push starting it with it. Yeah, exactly. So, and this is off to the side. So you're sitting on the bike, step on that, spins the wheel, you let the clutch out in second gear, boom, they fire up.
Nice.
You have to have one of those if you're an old guy like me.
Almost need
now
one
this.
of those for our dead battery bikes. It'd be easier doing
would
that
be
than
nice.
for jumping
Yeah.
them.
I could tell you a long story about a Husqvarna 400 that I had when I was a kid, that those things didn't exist, and I was push starting the Husqvarna 400. It fired immediately when I let the clutch out. I hung on, rolled the throttle on, dislocated my right shoulder, let go of the motorcycle. It was a bad deal. So that's a good thing.
Yeah.
This happens to be a Husqvarna, a 74 Husqvarna 250. Let's see. So this is just like the bike that Larry and Vicky just delivered. It's a little bit newer. This is 74. That's a 70.
Well, this one you said is a 250 too,
This
right?
is a 250, yeah.
Okay.
And this was in about the same condition as the one you just delivered. So what I do is I strip it down. I take everything down to the smallest piece off of it. The frames, we send those out to, we're really lucky. We have a great guy locally here that does sandblasting, media blasting, powder coating. So all of the silver painted pieces get sent out and media blasted and then powder coated. And the powder coating is so far superior to the just a spray on paint. It's really rugged, great for the dirt bikes. The air cleaner cover. That same shop that does this work for us also has a polishing shop. So we're really lucky. They polish the wheels. So these wheels, I take the spoke, I remove the spokes and the hubs, redo the hubs, and I send the wheels to them also, and they do the polishing on those. They do polish the motor mounts, the sprocket, and it's, again, like I say, it's a little bit overdone, but it really looks nice in the displays that the
Right,
bikes go into.
So if you do buy anything from Pat, you know you're getting a good quality product. He goes through it thoroughly.
I do. And we refinish, we ceramic coat, so that pipe was in great shape, but it needed painting, so we strip it down, we media blast it, and then ceramic coat it so that it's heat resistant. Same thing here on the 74 model. The fork legs came from the factory painted black, so we repainted, put new boots on. The motor was already done on this one, so that was a nice thing. This is that's the motor that's going to go back into it.
Now, you typically go through the motors at all when you rebuild them?
I do. Some of them I do. This one I happen to have purchased this from a known quantity, a fellow that I've purchased a number of bikes from, and he had gone through the motor.
Okay.
So motor's like new. It's yeah, we just like to bring them back to as close to new condition as possible. And we're not a big shop, so but we have a little bit of everything. We do a little bit of our own media blasting.
Now, do you do any outside work? I mean, if somebody has a bike and they want you to restore it or fix it up, do you do that, or do you just buy and sell?
I just buy and sell.
Okay.
I guess I'm too old to put up with the pressure of having to work for somebody else.
So no customer bikes. If you want one, you got to come buy one from them.
But I'm also always in the market for late 60s, early 70s vintage motocross bikes that could be that are good candidates for for a full restoration. And the bikes typically, and we have a website, so we have lots of pictures on our website. If you could go to MinnesotaMotorcars.com or VintageMXMN for Minnesota.com or MNMCars.com. All of those get you to the same website.
Do you have a business card?
Yeah.
I'll put that on here as well.
Let's see, what else can I show you here? We've got, over the years, I've been doing this for about 6 years now. Again, this is kind of a retirement business. My wife and I like to stay busy, and we needed a place. We'll have to get a shot of the dogs. One of the reasons we opened this store is so that the dogs would have some place to come during the day and interact with the public, and they're very social. But it's kind of a fun hobby. It's we don't make a lot of money doing this, but it's a lot of fun.
It's fun.
Yeah, and let's see, what else can I show you here? I guess, yeah, over the years you can see the different parts, bins, and
I guess that's one question I could ask you. I know that you send the stuff out to get redone or whatever, but are the bikes pretty much like original?
they come, yeah, I try and bring them as close to original, the way they came out of the factory, as possible.
Okay.
Like I say, we do maybe a little bit of over polishing, over clear coating. They maybe look a little bit shinier.
But I mean, like the parts, if the shock, is that like a new old stock? Is it kind of shock, or is it?
Like, for example, these shocks. These are Girling shocks, and these are the original Girling shocks that we're on. We take them apart, we refinish them. The chrome covers are new. So we wanted to.
But that's an original shock. If you would have bought that bike back in '74, that's what would have been on it. Okay.
Yeah, indeed. This one in '74, Husqvarna had gone to plastic fenders, and prior to that, they were doing the aluminum fenders that you see on all the other bikes there.
No, even like the seats. Can you still find seats that are original, or do you recover them or redo them, or
all of the above? Yeah.
Okay.
We do. Yeah. This one happened to be beautiful. This was in great condition. The one that you brought me looks like it's perfect. So
right.
That one will be fine. But you can see there's another Husqvarna seat up on the rack there.
Okay.
Air cleaners, tires. Those are new old stock Barham tires. They came originally on a lot of the Husqvarnas and a lot of the European bikes, particularly on the CZs. The Huskies came originally in the late '70s with Trelleborg tires, but they're no longer available. So, and all of the stock is long since sold out. So we have to come up with as close as we can to replacements. There are, with the bull tacos here in the United States, there's 3 shops that I buy a lot of parts from for the bull tacos. For the Husqvarnas, I buy parts from one fellow in the United States down in San Diego, And then I also buy a lot of parts from Europe. Same for the Bultacos. I do buy parts from Spain for those. So yeah. And then this, well here, this is a 1972 Yamaha 360 RT1 Enduro. And another thing that I like to do with the bikes that we restore, and this one, this is exactly how this one came. I bought this just the other day, and this one's kind of in between. It doesn't need a full restoration. This one might just get a really good detailing and replacement of some of the things that aren't correct on it.
Now I noticed you had an owner's manual down there, and I see all the paperwork here. So
yep. I always try and get. So here's the climber manual for this, and another one that I used on the 70 and the 71, and then I try to find. And you can find this stuff on Etsy, Craigslist, eBay. I try and find old original articles on the motorcycles, and then like for this one will come with copies of all of the original road tests from back in 1972.
oh, nice.
And it's just kind of nice to know, what you've got and what the history of it is. The other thing that's kind of fun is everybody that buys a motorcycle from me gets a copy of On Any Sunday, a CD or a DVD, and then depending upon what one buys.
So you must mail all that stuff to them when they buy it, because I know we don't ship loose stuff, and I know we've never seen it. So I mean, I'm guessing.
It gets shipped out. But for example, Steve McQueen, if somebody buys a Husqvarna, they're going to get a copy of the Steve McQueen book, and it shows. This actually shows all of the cars and motorcycles that he rode over the years.
Nice.
Kind of interesting.
So a little personal bonus touch that you get from Pat here at
you got
Litchfield or Minnesota Motorcars.
Here's Steve McQueen at the Elsinore Grand Prix on his Husky 400, and he went. And that's kind of an interesting thing. That's actually in the 250. I think that's a 250 that he was riding that day. He went by the name. He didn't want people to know he was Steve McQueen. He went by the name Harvey Mushman. That's how he would register for the races that he was in. But everybody knew that after a while. And he rode Triumphs also. He was quite the guy.
Nice.
Bud? Okay, these are the shop dogs. This is Buddy and Honey. This is the reason we opened this business, so they'd have some place to go. There you go.
Open a business to take care of the dogs.
They're our best salespeople.
Yeah, who doesn't love animals?
Dogs usually are.
Yeah, they're good babies.
Hi, out here at Magic City Harley Davidson in Minot, North Dakota. And you can tell it's still winter. Delivering this 2005 Road King Classic. So if you watch my channel and you ordered a bike and you're waiting for it in Minot, it just arrived. Might be a day or two if we could ride it home, but it's here. 75 Kawasaki S3 400 KH 400. Picking it up here in a nice sunny day in Spearfish, South Dakota. '23 Fast Johnny Edition Road Glide.
Howdy ho.
How's it going?
Good.
24 BMW 1000R. Picked one up and delivered one here. Sturgis Motorsports, Sturgis, South Dakota.
You bet.
2017 Indian Roadmaster.
I think it's pretty. I like it.
Yeah.
Away from Boston, but I guess they probably know how to ride them up there too.
Are you gonna do your video? She gotta do a video real quick.
That's fine.
This is a YouTube video. She's gotta do the work one.
Just to make sure that I don't claim that you dropped it, huh?
Well, not that you didn't claim, but that we didn't drop it either. So.
There you go.
'85 Honda 350. Go ahead and start taking this down.
Where are you headed to next?
Omaha. Dylan. 2008 Ultra Classic. 105th anniversary.
Alright, mama, sure is getting late. Come on now, mama, don't you hesitate. Grab my hand, well we land. I got the champagne. We can knock it back, get on track, jump on, ride this thing.